If I'm a child and if I wanted to represent one of something, I might just write, hey, one of that, like one stick or one twig. And then if I wanted two, I might just write two twigs, right? 1 plus 1, 3, 3 twigs, one next to another. I'll just write them and say what I have is just 1 plus 1 plus 1, 3. And this is called additive way of writing things. I just add what's there individually because I know this I like thing stands for 1. And then I add I, 3 I's, which is just 3. So Roman numerals follows this idea of additive representation of numbers. So I'm going to look at 1, and what is 1? I'll go here, I'll look at my table. Oh, 1, I write 1 as I, and so it's just I. And then 2 is, I need 2 ones, and I just have to write them next to each other, so it's I. And 3 is going to be, that's right, I. 4 is going to be I. Not really. So 4 is a little, so it seems right to do this. Right, 3 I's for 3, 4 I's for 4. But then it turns out that this is not how we do it, at least not anymore. So I'm going to put 4 as controversial. We're going to talk about 4 more. So after this, what about 5? I'm going to go up here. I can maybe put I. But then, what's going on? It's already becoming hard to read. And we've already made up a new alphabet for 5. So I'll be putting 5, just because that's easier. Now, what should I do for 6? It gets interesting for 6 because how do I write 6? So when I look at 6, I'll go up here and ask, what is the largest thing that I have that's smaller than 6? So 6 lies between 5 and 10. So I know that I can write 6 as 5 plus something. So I'll first write my 5, which is V, and then ask, okay, what is remaining here? There's just 1 remaining. And 1, I know how I can write it. I'll just go write the 1. And the same thing happens for 7. 5 plus 2. 8 is 5 plus 3. 9, again, I'm going to put a question mark here because it's a different way of writing. We do not write V-I with a 4 I's. Right? It becomes very long. So I'm going to put a question mark here, and we're going to learn how we're going to write this. And for 10, I'm going to go up here. It's exactly, I already have an alphabet for it, so I'm just going to use that. So let's look at an example. If I had 23 with me, and if I want to write 23, how should I think about it? So in my head, I'm going, okay, 23 is more than 10. It's less than 50. So I should write it as sometimes 10, and then I'll see what happens. So how many 10s are there? And I see that there are 2 10s. So I'm going to write 2 10s. Maybe I should use a different color. So 2 10s. X. Is that enough? No. Now what I have is 20. So I've taken 23 and I've imagined it to be 20 plus 3. 20 plus 3. And this 20 has already been written over here. So now what about this 3? I treat this as a fresh problem. As if I'm starting all over again. I'll ask 3. Where is 3 between? It's between 1 and 5, and I already know how to write 3. So just go up here and write 3 as 1, 2, 3. So XXIII will give me 23. And as you can see, the way, if I had given this number, if I had been given this number and asked what is this number, how would I have read it? I would have read it by going X is 10, so 10 plus 10 is 20, I is 1, I is 3, so this is 20, this is 3, so 20 plus 3 is 23. So that's exactly the backward process that I would have used. And you can see that in all these cases, the bigger number is what we write first and then the smaller numbers. So X comes and then I. Over here also you can see that V comes first and then the I. So whenever we're writing usual numbers, it comes in this format. The bigger one first and then the smaller ones. But if you see, in our unique case over here, so we said these two are controversial, right? 4 and 9. So what is it about 4 and 9? How do we write 4 and 9? So instead of thinking of 4 as 4 ones, where we write I, which in fact people used to do back in the Roman times, and then they stopped doing it because it just took too much space. And in important documents where there's not much space, we wanted a shorter way to write 4. So what is a shorter way to write 4? They thought of 4 as, hey, I can write it as 1 less than 5. So I can put an I and then I can write a V after that. So this is the first time you're seeing a smaller number come before a larger number. So they said whenever you see this happening, think of it as not 1 plus 5 equal to 6. Don't do that. But think of it as 5 minus 1, which is 4. The same thing goes for 9. Think of it as 1 minus 10, actually 10 minus 1, or 1 less than 10 for 9. So we write IV for 4 and IX for 9. And when we do this, this is called the subtractive notation. I'm going to write it here, subtractive. Now this name is not that important. It's just for you to realize that when we're writing it here in this way, we're actually using a subtraction. 5 minus 1 and 10 minus 1. Now the most important thing to know about this subtractive notation is that it's super rare. It very, very rarely happens. So I'm going to fill in for 4 and 9 over here. And then let's look at where the subtractive notation is used. So 4 is IV and 9 is IX. So where is the subtractive notation used? So you'll see that it's used very, very, very rarely. In fact, the only special cases are 4 and 9. You're asking me, don't we use this kind of thing anywhere else? We do, but just for the multiples of 4 and 9. 4 and 9, 40, 90, 400, 900, right? Only for these numbers do you use this subtractive notation. In fact, you can forget 400, 900. They're too big numbers. We can just stick to 4, 9, 40 and 90. So 4, you know how to write it, IV. 9, you'll write it as IX. What about 40 right now? So instead of thinking of 40 as 4 tens and writing X, 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 what we do is that we look at 40 as 10 minus 50. So what must I do then? 10. And I'm again saying 10 minus 50. What I really mean is 50 minus 10. I should stop doing this. So 10 less than 50. So 10 less than 50. 50 is L. So I'll write XL. I want you to stop and think about how to do 90. And when you try that, and once you get the answer, look at what I'm doing. So how do you do 90? You will look at this number, 100, and then subtract 10 from it. So 10 less than 100. That's 90.